Hey, hope you are really well. So today we are going to be using some number cards. So these cards here, these different numbers, we're going to be using them to fill in these missing gaps below. So where you can see squares, we are going to use these numbers here to fill in these missing squares, okay? But the thing is, we're going to have to do some working out because we can see that some of the missing gaps are at the front of the number sentence, some of them are in between the number sentence, and some of them are at the end of our number sentences. But we are going to use some working out, some good old maths to find out how and which of these numbers fit into these squares. Now, the only thing is you can only use one of these numbers. You can only use each number once. So as soon as we've used the number, we're just going to kind of tick it off. We're going to give it a good old tick, or we're going to cross it out, and that will show us that we've already used that specific number and we cannot use it again. Okay, are you ready? Okay, so we're going to start with number one over here. Okay, now we're going to read this out just as a number sentence as you were reading from right to left in a normal sentence. And then we're going to work out where the number belongs and which number belongs there. Okay, so here we go. Let's start with number one, which is over here. Number one says something equals or is the same as 5 plus 5. Something is the same as 5 plus 5. Something is the same as 5 plus 5. Nice and simple. What is 5 plus 5? Is it any of these numbers here? What is 5 plus 5? Absolutely correct, Armando. I knew you could work that one out yourself. I just knew it. So we don't really need much working out for this one because we know that 5 plus 5 is 10. 5 plus 5 is 10, and we can see number 10 right here. So we're going to use that number 10 and we're going to pop it into the missing gap, okay? So here we go, number 10 in the missing gap. We've used number 10. Let's read it as a number sentence to ensure that it makes sense. 10 equals 5 plus 5. 10 equals 5 plus 5. Do we agree that 10 is the same as 5 plus 5? Absolutely. 5 plus 5 is the same as 10, so that is correct, Armando. We have used the correct number and adequately filled in the first missing gap. Well done to you. Okay, so let's move on to number 2. It gets a little trickier, but let's just take our time. Now let's read it as if we were reading a number sentence from right to left, okay? As if you're reading a sentence in a book. Here we go. Something is the same as 40 plus 6. Something is the same as 40 plus 6. So let's pop 40 plus 6 here. What number is the same as 40 plus 6? Now here, all we need to do is add up these two numbers to find out our answer, okay? And we're going to use a method of counting on. We're going to pop the big number in our heads and we're going to count on 6, okay? Now you can pop this 6 on your fingers if you wish to do so. So we're going to pop 40 in our heads and count on 6. Are you ready? Fantastic. Okay, here we go. 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, and 46. Absolutely perfect. So we know that 40 plus 6 is, well done, 46. So in our number sentence, we have a missing gap. What number do you think belongs in this missing gap? What number belongs in the missing gap? Number 46 belongs in the missing gap, and we can see that it's this number here. So we've used number 46. Now we're going to read our number sentence to make sure and ensure that it makes sense. Here we go. 46 equals 40 plus 6. I agree. Do you agree? I think we're correct. Absolutely fantastic. Right, let's just get rid of this, making some more space for ourselves. Okie dokie. Okay, so we move on to the next one. The next one reads, the next one reads 74 is the same as something plus 14. 74 is the same as something plus 14. So we need to work out what the missing gap is. Let's just write it over here so we can see it nice and large. 74 is the same as something plus 14. There we go. Okay, so for this one, we have to be able to use our tens and our ones, and we need to work out what this missing gap could be. Now remember, it's going to be one of the numbers above here as well. Now the easiest way to work this out is, because we know that we're going to get to a whole number. Our whole number is 74, okay? The largest number is 74. And one of the parts is 14. One of the parts of the number is 14. We need to work out what the other part is, okay? So the easiest way we can do this is we can take away 14 from 74, which will give us our answer. Let's do a nice column subtraction to work it out. Always put your largest number on the top, which is 74. And it's going to take away 14. There we go. That's how we're going to work it out. Now you can either use your tens and ones or a nice little column addition like so. It's always nice to show your workings though, so you can double check if and where you've gone correct or incorrect. So let's work it out. We know that 4 take away 4 is exactly 0. Fantastic. And then 7 take away 1. What's 7 take away 1? What's 7? If you have 7 and you take away 1, what's the answer? Absolutely correct. It is 60. Fantastic. So we know that our two parts, one of the parts is 60 and one of the parts is 14. So our 60 belongs in our missing gap, just like so. So where is our 60 in these numbers at the top? Can you find it? Yeah, it's over here in orange. So we're going to give it a tick because we've used number 60. There we go. Okay, brilliant. Right, what I'm going to do is rub all of this out so we have some more space for our workings out. It's very, very important when you're doing your maths sums to have lots of space to do your working outs, and it enables you to check over your workings, okay? To check over your workings. Alrighty, here we go. We're going to do another one. Now this one, we're going to do number 4. This one said or reads something is the same as 20 plus something. Something is the same as 20 plus something. Now remember, we have to use these numbers that are left. Okay, we can only use these numbers that are left. We can't use any more. But because we have two gaps here, it could be a variety of numbers. So by the process of elimination, what we're going to do is we're going to move to the last one, because we know that we only need one number for the last one. So the other leftover numbers have to go here, don't they? So we're going to do this one first, okay? Brilliant. So this one reads 63 is the same as something plus 50. Okay? 63 is the same as something plus 50. Now, how are we going to work this out? We know, we could draw it out if you like to. I'll show you a different way of working it out just in case. We know that 63 has how many tens? How many tens are in 63? Well, there's 6 tens in 63. Let's just draw them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. And we have 3 ones. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So that equals 63. But we already know that we have 50 here. So we need to find out the missing gap. How could we find out the missing gap? We need to do something called inverse, which I've just done with you. We need to do something called inverse, which is when we take away the largest number from the smallest number, which will give us our answer. So we're going to do 50 take away 63. And we're going to use our drawn Deans over here so I can show you how to do it on the screen. Are you ready? So we're going to take away 50 and see how many we have left. Let's take away 50. Counting in your tens, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. We've taken away 50. Now the question is, how many do we have left? Remember, these are our tens, these are our ones. Can you work out how many we have left? I'll give you a second. 10, counting on from 10, 11, 12, 13. We have 13 left. So we know that 63 is the same as 13 plus 50. We know that 63 is the same as 13 plus 50. And this time we drew out our tens and ones to help us work it out. We can either use column subtraction or we can draw them out just like we did here. So where is our number 13? Can you find it before I can? Ah, there it is. There we go. Okay, so where does 13 go? That's correct. We're going to pop it in the bottom. Fantastic. We've correctly answered that as well. Now we're going to move back on to number 4. Can you remember why we are doing number 4 last? Can you remember? We're doing number 4 last because number 4 has 2 spare boxes, which means there could be a wide variety of numbers that belong in those boxes. So I thought it would be easier to answer the number 5 first, so we can rule out or tick off what number we ended up with, which is 13. Now it's easy. Which 2 numbers do we have left? Which 2 numbers do we have left? We have 32 and 12. So they have to go into the spare boxes. Because remember at the start, we could only use each number how many times? Once. That's correct. So let's find out how or where these numbers need to go. Let's read the number sentence again. You ready? Something equals 20 plus something. Where do you think the largest number needs to go? Where do you think the largest number needs to go? Is it at the end here or at the start of the number sentence? Where does the largest number need to go? If you said the largest number needs to go at the front, you are correct, because because in this number sentence, the addition is at the back. So if we were drawing, remember when we looked at part-whole models, if we were drawing a part-whole model, remember there's two parts and a whole. If we're drawing a part-whole model, we know that the largest number goes in here, which would be 32. And then we have two parts. In this case, our parts would be 20 and 12. So the largest number needs to go in this box here, because the addition or the parts of the number are at the back of the number sentence. The whole number goes at the start because of the way that this number sentence has been arranged, and the two parts go at the back. Let's fill in our number sentence. We know, as we said, the largest number goes at the front in this case. So which number is largest, 32 or 12? Which number is largest? Which number is the largest number? You're correct. Number 32 is larger than 12. Oh, sorry, let's just do that again because that looks like a P. 32 is larger than 12 because 32 has 3 tens and 12 has 1 10. Which number do you think belongs at the end of the number sentence? Yep, the only number that's left's got to be number 12. Now, I'm going to create some space and we're just going to check that that's correct. Do you know why? Because the worst thing that we can do when it comes to maths is spend all of our time filling out and working out numbers, and then we don't check our answers and we've made a little mistake. So, after you've finished working out your answers, just take the time, a little sum, and check your answers. Here we go. Now, we're going to add up our two parts. We're going to add up our two parts. Where or which two numbers are our two parts? Here are our two parts, okay? Here are our two parts which have a plus sign in the middle or in between them. So we need to work out 20 plus 12. What should the answer be? If we correct, what should the answer be? If we correct, the answer should be 32. Fantastic, well done. Here we go, let's work it out. 0 plus 2, number 2, fab. And then 2 plus 1, absolutely, it's got to be 3. So we are correct. Fantastic. Now, shall we pop this into our number sentence with the missing gaps? So, just like over here, we've got our 32, which is our largest or whole number at the start. So we've got 32. 32 is the same as 20 plus what number? Yeah, 20 plus 12, because we worked it out over here, didn't we? We've worked it out. We've double checked and we're correct. Well done. Of course, we have to tick off our numbers. So we used 32 and we used 12. Fabulous. When we're working out missing gaps, sometimes it can be a little bit tricky, but all we have to do is take our time, identify where the parts of the numbers are and where the whole part of the number is and where the whole is. We need to identify where the parts are and where the whole number is. Then we can either use subtractions or we can draw out our deans, so our tens and our ones, and subtract them to find out what the missing part is. Remember, go over this video a couple times if you need to. If you're not quite sure, no problem. You did really well today, as always. Fantastic. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Laters. Bye.